first one in the section. With the runner, boy, you nigga, no question. You would run a motherfucker high stepping. Hey, you never had a big enough weapon. Motherfucker never learned your lesson. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I'm a 88 pack nigga. I mean, day walker, drink blood, fangs out, full moon, motherfucker change like a hoe, nigga. I'm just a nigga from the hood trying to stack a little cheddar for the money.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Lightweight. Well, light heavyweight. Drew Titan Bronx on deck. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Let's get to this. I want to talk some boxing, man. I want to talk some boxing. CB Sports in the building. Jimmy Bernard, Mac of the South, Amanaz, Tay Tay. Oh, it jumped on me. Hen Dog, what's good? Antonio MMA, Jamal Davis, Mr. Miyagi, West Baltimore, real Baltimore in the building. Salute. Shaquilla Fields, salute. Rod Neal, MXC, Harlem, Gerard in the building. What's good? I am True Main. Salute. Smash the like button, like and share the video. It helps with the algorithm, and it helps us put certain people on blast. Hi, Google. Oh, stay off those ropes. Stay off those ropes. Hurt yourself. Oh my God. If only y'all knew. But I got a short coming soon. Y'all pay attention to detail. Didn't I told. All right, I ain't even gonna say it. I'm gonna pop my collar though. Dritch, what up? I'm gonna pop my collar. Oh my gosh. This is amazing. Sensei, how you doing this fine evening?
I'm doing good, man. Salute to the chat. Feeling good off of a great day of boxing yesterday. First fire card of the year.
Yeah.
We had some candidates for fight of the year right away, straight off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm loving it. I'm still riding that wave, that high from yesterday's event, man. Still riding it.
I mean, it's beautiful when listen, man, that was I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't disappointed, man. That was it was good from start to finish, man. That's all we ask for. That's all we ask for. Salute to the chat if I missed you. Hannibal, Andrew Gray, Peter the Great. Yeah, man. So let's jump around a little bit. I wanted to talk about this before we get to the main event. We're gonna jump around a little bit. Yeah, Peter, I can open it up in about maybe 20 minutes. I'll let some brothers on and some sisters on. I want to talk about Esau Cruz. Tay Jones in the building. Yo, Tay, I'm gonna open up the panel. Matter of fact, Tay, if you got time, I want to open up the panel because we was talking earlier about Cool Boy. So I want to get your thoughts on it. Other than Knight's boots. Other than Knight's boots, he had the Timbs on. That was real creative. I like that. That was dope. Let's talk about matter of fact, Tay, I'm gonna send you a link real quick. I'll let you hop on for the rest of my brothers and sisters. Tay got I just dropped you the link, Tay. Tay got front row seats. Esau Cruz. Always a high action fighter. But let's get to it though. We know what the kryptonite is. And I think Esau Cruz has reached his pinnacle, and his best defense is his offense because, listen, man, he can't do that for another 5 years, man. He can't do that for it's fun to watch, but he can't do that for another 5 years. And let me bring it back, man.
He might not be able to do it for another 5 fights.
No, you're right. You're right. Here's the deal, man. Yeah. He's what you call a fan-friendly fighter. A casual can go to an Esau Cruz fight and be thoroughly entertained. And I get it. I think MAW says 98, 92 straight BS. Yeah, you know what? If no one, no doubt, Tay, if no one knew if I'm saying his name wrong, forgive me. What did BF call him? Fiery Hot? If you didn't know who Fiery Hot was, you know who he is now. And it's only because of who he fought. It was a high action fight. It was great. A lot of people want to see Fiery Hot again. And that's actually a dope name. But listen, we got to be honest about everything here, y'all. I need y'all to hear me out. Y'all know I hate Ryan Garcia. That's it. Prior to the drugs and the racism and stuff, listen to me, y'all. And if y'all look in my archives, you will find when Ryan Garcia started working with Derek James and he fought Oscar Duarte, that next Sunday, me and Stormy, we sat right here on this show and we said, you know what? Ryan looked pretty good, except that silly shell, him turning his whole back and exposing his kidneys. We said, Ryan looked pretty good. He was listening to his corner. And if he continues to work with Derek James, we might have something here. All right. We said that. And at that time, that was after Esau Cruz fought the co-main event on the undercard of Errol versus Bud. And I was against Freddie Roach's man. And I said, when I watched that live and I looked and I said, you know what? I don't think Esau won that fight. And it was right then and there. I knew what his kryptonite was. He's short. A long jab and above average boxing skills will give him a headache. All right? And then he gets in there with El Rayo and loses. You see what I mean? Rolly Romero is not that guy to do that. I always said if he rematched Tank Davis with minus the broke hand, Tank knocks him out, man. Tank knocks him out.
How come nobody wants to fight that old guy that was whooping on Romero?
The elder?
Yeah.
Who knocked out what's his name from the UK?
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Why nobody want to fight him?
He's a live dog. He's a live dog. But who wants to lose to him? Who wants to be in a hard fight with him? Because apparently he could crack. Apparently. So look, man. Esau said what he said about Ryan Garcia. He said you can't beat Devin on drugs because you're on drugs, and you can't beat me. What I say is this. I don't know. Ryan has physical tools, but how does he look off those drugs? I'm curious to see. But after that hard fight, it'd be stupid to put him in the ring with Ryan right now. So I'm kind of glad they played it safe. They played it safe and said, you know what, go ahead and fight Rolly. Hopefully we can finagle the winner somehow. But at this point, let me ask y'all a question, since y'all like to throw this phrase around. Is Esau Cruz a one-trick pony? Uh-oh. Is he a one-trick pony? And I'm not talking bad about him. I love Esau Cruz's story. He was eating ramen noodles, about to be homeless. He got a Tank Davis fight, changed his life. He's an action fighter. I can see people paying money to see him on co-main events. I can see that. Because you know what you get with him. But is Esau Cruz a one-trick pony? Because I don't see another gear, man. That was ridiculous. Once Fiery Hot started firing back, we had a fight. Now you see, now look at the fight he had last night and then go back and watch the El Rayo fight. It's apples and oranges, man. I think he's a one-trick pony, and I say that respectfully because I know what we got with him. You're never going to be bored, and I respect that. But I think as far as who he is as a professional, he's hit the wall. He'll beat some guys. He'll look tougher He makes fights tougher than they need to be. But I'll land the plane right there. Stormy, your thoughts on Esau Cruz?
Cruz is modern day Gotti.
Yeah.
He's a modern day Gotti. He's just Mexican. It's like he's a guy that's going to give a pound of flesh, be a pound of flesh, and somewhere in between hope to come out victorious.
Yeah.
And he's able to thrive with a lot of guys that aren't technically capable of doing away with his kind easily. And it's a letdown as far as his contemporaries, because a lot of guys are not that skilled, and it tells you why a lot of them aren't so anxious to get in the ring with one another.
Yeah.
They enjoy the promoter matching them in fights where they're favored on paper, as well as, you know, consensus. And a lot of times that's enough just to suit them, because they know they're going to get a payday out of that. And, you know, but when you are going into those woods, of uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
you know, being an unproven commodity, you could end up being the guy that you've been beating up on.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's a reality. It's like, man, you know, and you could see Pitbull was coming apart mentally in that fight.
He was
starting to have issues, you know.
Is it true? Usually, guys like that, when they meet, when they meet someone that's going to fight back at them, isn't that usually the case?
Yeah, they become a little, you know, hesitant. But with what he was able to do last night, which is more of the reason why I could say I didn't feel he won the fight. He won the drama of the fight. The drama of the fight. Landing big punches that make the crowd go ooh and ah.
Yes.
But everything that happened in between that was happening to him.
Yes.
You know, and a guy who refused to go away. You know, a lot of guys have succumbed to that. Do you know sometimes a guy get hit in the fight, boom, and the crowd go, ooh. And if he's not mentally strong, he's like, am I hurt? I don't know if I'm hurt. Did I didn't? And then next you know, he gets to thinking like that, and the guy take advantage of him.
Yeah.
But for guys that are mentally strong and everything, they take a good shot, a big shot, boom, the crowd go, ooh, and they firing right back at you. Boom, boom, you know, hit you back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what Figueroa was doing a lot last night. There were a couple of body shots that Pitbull hit him with in the early part of the fight, like that first quarter of the fight, rounds 1 through 4. He took some body shots that kind of made him double over a little bit, and it looked like he might take a knee or something.
Yeah.
But then he made an adjustment on his defense, and he became, you know, he said, I'm going to hit this sucker back.
Right.
And then when he found that he could hit him back, he kept hitting him back. It turned into a battle of back and forth. It was very exciting. I mean, I was like sitting up in my seat like, hey,
it was very fun to watch. I'm going to say some names that y'all will know, but y'all forgot, because it was like here today, gone today. Ruzin Pavatnikov. Remember him?
Yeah.
Ricky Hatton. I mean, that wasn't too long. He had a whole country behind him, and we saw how that ended, right? And it's looking like we're going to be able to throw Esau Cruz right in the middle of that bin of exciting guys, but didn't have another gear where they could pull out wins with their mind.
Right.
You understand? So we've seen his kryptonite. Now, will he ever be a title holder at 140? I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know, man.
Well, it can happen because there's so many belts. And that's why certain other fights don't get made, because I told you that the representation, the DEI that they're trying to hold in the sport of boxing that they've been holding for a long time.
Yep.
You know, it's like you wonder, like, well, why don't so and so and so and so just get together and unify? That's why, because somebody in a think tank somewhere is sitting up thinking, like, if we put Esau out there and you know, maybe he can catch that vacant whatever, you know. It's and that's another thing. Fighting for vacant titles. That gotta end, man. That's gotta end. Guys vacating, oh, I'm moving up. And then somebody can come along as an opportunist and get a title because another person vacated or whatever, but they didn't fight a champion and beat a champion for a title.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, I'd rather win my title having defeating the previous title holder than to be picking it up like somebody met you in the alley and say, you got the stuff? Yeah. And you said, you pass it the belt. It's like, what the hell? You know, no.
Yeah. So if I was to give him a grade, Esau Cruz, I'd give him a C because I know what I see in him. He's just one. Every era, there's a guy like that. He's gonna do just enough. He's not gonna let you down. He's never gonna be in a boring fight, and I'm happy for him because that's who he is. He's able to feed his family. He dug himself out that hole. That Tank Davis fight really did wonders for him. He's lucky Tank's hand was messed up. And he's a good guy. He's a good card filler because he's never going to be in a boring fight at all. Either going to be in a fight like that or he's going to dominate somebody like how he did Rolly. So I like Esau Cruz because I know what he is. There's nothing to hate and there's nothing to over big up. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give him a C. What would you give him?
A C is not a bad grade. However, I will say this. I could give him a higher grade than a C because I knew who Figueroa was going into the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
It's like a lot of people, Figueroa surprised them. But if you watch my breakdown video, I was like, I watched this guy and I'm like, hold your horses, pump the brakes, talk about fighting Ryan Garcia so fast because he got to get past this guy first.
That's him.
And I don't think he won the fight.
Yeah, they're already talking about rematch.
He won the drama of the fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just like in Devin's fight, not to get off track or anything. I just want to say, people think Ryan was, you know, all that because he knocked him down 3 times. But Devin won the rounds he wasn't getting knocked down in. So it's like you win the drama of the fight, and that plays in people's psyche like, oh, yeah, that guy. But, you know, it's still everything that's happening in between the drama. Who's setting the fight? Who's setting the tone?
Right.
Who is, you know, imposing, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Tate Jones in the building, man. What's good, brother?
What's going on, my boy?
What's good, man?
What's happening, Tay?
I'm glad to do this, man.
Yeah, man. So real quick, your assessment on Pitbull Cruz versus Fiery Hot last night.
I mean, shit. I thought it was a good fight, honestly, man. You know, I ain't really got nothing bad to say about it. It looked like he found himself a little jab as well. You know, I was real happy that he found himself a jab because he damn sure done had one for the last some odd fights he got. But overall, good fight. I mean, me personally, you know, I look at the lines a little bit, but I don't believe that. I never did believe that Pitbull Cruz should be a minus 1,100 fighter to anybody.
Ooh.
So it was
minus 1,100.
It was minus 1,100, and I was like, "So what? No, it couldn't be. It's not no way possible." But the style was tailor made for him. But then at the same time, the style was tailor made for Figueroa as well. So you know, I knew. I even said in my prediction that I did on Friday night, I even said that was going to be the fight of the night. You know.
No, you did say that. Yeah.
It's going to be fireworks. So you know, and it lived up to every aspect of it. You know, he was Pitbull was hurt in the 3rd round. I also believe that Figueroa was hurt at some points during the fight as well. You you know. But back and forth action, man. You know, you got that Mexican grind, so that's what happened, man. And it was a good start to the card for sure.
Yeah.
I like the respect that they showed each other after it was over.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
That was beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, man. Good card. I mean, well, not good card, but good fight.
So let's get to a fight that left me very confused. Fulton, our brother Scooter, versus our new friend to the Strong House, you know, Brandon Figs. Now, going into this fight, because you know Figueroa was here 2 weeks ago. He was on a live stream. He's a really good kid, man. Really good kid. Very respectable. He's in touch with the community. Really good energy. Really, really good energy. So I'm like, all right, you know, and I know who he is as a fighter. And him and Scooter knew each other. Now, at the time, here's why I leaned towards Brandon. Because they both know each other, which is that's of equal value to both fighters. But after the Inouye loss and the Castano, he won the fight. But to me, I read that wrong. I was worried that Scooter was like a little disinterested. If you remember, what is it, like 2 years ago when I was on your panel today, when Scooter was on your show, he seemed disinterested then. He's not doing this for money. His pockets is straight. He got businesses, you know, I believe in Philly. He was calm about his next move. At the time, I don't recall if there was anything on the horizon for him. I don't recall. But to me back then, when he was on your panel, he seemed like disinterested with the sport. It's like, you know, if I get a fight, I'm cool. If I don't, I'm cool. I'm like, oh, okay. Sometime later, he had the Inouye fight. He had the Figueroa fight first. Then he had the Inouye fight. Then the Castano fight, if the order's correct. And then leading up to the Figueroa fight, I'm like, well, for Figueroa is fighting with a purpose. And I'm not sure if Scooter is fighting for that same purpose. And then the bell rang. Round 1, all Scooter. Round 2, all Scooter. Round 3, I'm like, what's happening? And why does he keep switching from righty to southpaw? What the hell's going on? And then I began to understand that there was a disconnect between his corner and what he was trying to translate in that damn ring. It just looked off. And then it dawned on me. It may have looked off because Scooter was in there nullifying his shit. And I'm like, well, what's going on? And by the time we got to round like 9, it was a shutout. So then Stormy texts me like, yo, what is, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? I'm like, I didn't know he was going to do this shit. I was like, what is going on? He pitched a shutout, bro. He pitched a shutout. And salute to Brandon. That don't make you any less of a good kid. I just didn't understand what Brandon was doing. So, Tay, tell me what you saw, because I was shocked. I couldn't believe what I was looking at. I picked Brandon to win.
I don't see how anybody could have been shocked. I really don't. I really don't see how anybody could have been shocked.
Well, give it to me. Give it to me. Because
I mean, listen. First of all, let's be clear. Cool Boy beat him at his own game the very first time around. Mm-hmm. People just, he punching. Like, that's why I say some people just see two people moving around the ring. Yeah, he was throwing punches. He was throwing a high volume of punches. But was he really affecting and counting those punches? No, a lot of them was rolled. A lot of them was coming to the hips, trying to slow Scooter down. A lot of them was hitting off his arm. That's just the first fight. Now, when Brandon Figueroa lost that first fight, his sister, his brother, his dad, all said we need to concentrate. We learned from that loss. We need to concentrate on boxing and throwing straight punches. Well, he didn't go right back into the Fulton fight because I said if you go right back into the Fulton fight, that wouldn't be good for him because he's talking about implementing these things that we haven't seen him do in the ring before, right? So then he goes and fight, 2 other people. Of course, he go to 126, fight 2 other people. And then, of course, remember, I was the first to tell you guys that, possibly that Cool Boy Steph and Brandon Figueroa was going to fight on the on the Bud and Spence undercard that was actually supposed to be in September. November.
Right.
And I was like, ooh, now he's practicing boxing. Now, then when he fought, I forgot who he fought after Cool Boy. He did another interview, and he was like, yeah, I've been in the gym. I've been working on my skills. I've been boxing, not trying to crowd my punches, this, and third. He kept saying that. Even leading up to the fight, even to his next fight. He ended up getting, I think it was Castro, got him out of there, right? Leading up to this fight, he kept saying, I'm working, my boxing skills has gotten better. Same thing. So I'm saying to myself, Now the public is saying this. The public is saying, well, Scooter, he got knocked out by anyway. He didn't even try. Well, not even trying to make no excuses for Scooter, but nobody knows what he was going through. First of all, he was supposed to be going at 126 a year and a half before he fought anyway. Let's be clear. So he was already, coming with weight issues anyway. All right. Then if you look at Scooter's resume, I think he beat 10 to 12 undefeated fighters.
Yeah, he did.
But hold. He beat them at their own style, all of them. And then he finished up with Daniel Roman the way he really fight, and that shit was flawless. Yeah, he fights anyway, get knocked out. We know anyway is a generational talent. If you ask me, I believe he is. Then he come back and he fight Castro. Well, I always say this as well. Don't define the fighter about him getting knocked down. Define the fighter about when he gets back up and what he does after he get back up.
True story. True.
All right, so if you take in consideration what he did after he got back up, new weight class, 126, got back up and did what he's supposed to. Not only did he get back up and do what he's supposed to do, he put belt to ass. Then we come to this fight right here. Now I hear everybody saying, oh, Brandon Figueroa this, he's strong, he's this, he's that. Well, the only thing that was playing back in my mind, and even in my prediction, if Brandon Figueroa comes to try to fight Cool Boy Steph for his boxing, that shit is going to be all bad. That was my prediction. Why? Because really Cool Boy Steph fights the way that he fought Daniel Roman. That's his true way of fighting. He beat everybody else at their own game. So you can't box with a boxer when you're not traditionally a boxer. It was all bad from the beginning. You saw what happened. Belt to ass. Cool Boy, he told everybody this shit was going to be Floyd Mayweather Madonna 2. It was it not?
It was minus Madonna landed something significant.
Right.
Yeah.
Then again, like I say, I look at fights to the line. Brandon Figueroa was like at best, at least he was like minus 230. Then he went to like minus 260. I said, wait a minute, hold on, time out. So you mean to tell me, Brandon Figueroa is a 2-weight division champion, but you're also fighting a guy who was a champion, a unified champion. Not only that, he beat 10 to 12 undefeated fighters, and you giving me plus 260? Oh yeah, okay, give me all that money.
Oh man, you put bread on it?
Oh, I ain't show you my ticket.
Nah. Nah, you ain't show
me. Yeah, I'm gonna show you that ticket.
Oh boy, man. Well, I had that wrong.
But if you, bro, I just, like I said, I always tell people, man, listen to what the fighters say. You know what I mean? He's been speaking highly of his boxing skills and what he's been able to accomplish, and this, and the third. But bro, you're a fighter, not a boxer. There's a difference between the two. And if you're gonna box somebody who's traditionally a boxer, good luck, dog.
Yeah, that never seems to work out. I'll give you an example of that. Turgatti fought Mickey Ward in the banger, legendary fight the first time. Next 2 fights, Gaddy went out and got Buddy McGirt, and he said, yo, look, you got to get back to lateral movement. You can make this a whole lot easier. And he did that. Right. Then he got in there with Floyd Mayweather, tried to outbox the boxer, and it was target practice. Whereas he did better being the old Gaddy trying to swarm Floyd and land something. You understand? So, yeah, I was totally thrown. Felix Nunez in that super chat says, Fulton's performance made me respect the Nui more, to be honest. Well, yeah, well.
Listen.
I don't want to give a Nui any damn credit because I'm a hater. I call him annoying in the way.
People, you know, I'm listening to the commentator saying his game was off. And no, it's belt the ass. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Game went off.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You can't box with a boxer who traditionally boxes, right? Yeah. And then not only that, y'all said Cool Boy can't punch. Well, I ain't gonna say y'all, but people were saying Cool Boy can't punch, or he can't repeat the performance and go in with Brandon Figueroa because he coming up in weight. He's not gonna be as strong. Did he not bully his ass all over the ring all day, all night?
Yeah,
he nullified his offense by stepping in. That's all he was doing. And then, of course, people didn't know scooters can fight southpaw. He turned southpaw, step back in, go to the body. I'm gonna come bring it right back up the middle. That's all he was doing. It wasn't nothing like significant that he was doing. He made it easy for himself.
The strength. Again, like how they used to say Floyd Mayweather's not strong, he can't punch. I said people ain't rushing in to maul him either.
Right.
So he got to be some kind of strong. You know what I'm saying? 88 Sports talking that super chat. Salute. He said Devin Haney put 5K on Fulton and Benavidez and won 22K. God, dog it, man. He came up, man. Sensei.
Yep.
Your thoughts?
Undoubtedly, Scooter boxed great, you know. As you and I talked about it, you know, after the fight, it was like Brandon didn't win around. He was not in the fight at all. And he was taken out of the fight. But as I said to you in our personal conversation, I was like, I knew Brandon was in trouble after the first round, and he went in his corner, and his dad was telling him, stop switching to southpaw. He's like, stay orthodox, you know, you that's a better look for you. And he goes right back out in the second round and he's turning southpaw again. I'm like, it's gonna be a long night for this kid, and it was. But
he had no choice because the awkwardness of Fulton doing the same thing, he didn't expect that.
Mm-hmm. But his dad told him don't do it, and he just kept doing it, which just totally took him out the fight even more. It's like,
crazy.
If you don't listen to your corner, you ain't got no shot. Especially if they're telling you the right thing to do or not to do, you know. But you know, Fulton took full advantage, and like Tay said, having the advantages of how things went the first time around, and knowing that he hadn't opened his complete box of tools on the guy, he go tonight. He looked flawless, you know, meaning last night he looked flawless in doing what he was doing. And there are other fighters that, you know, that's going to be a lot to deal with, because somebody who can fight but at the same time has pretty solid boxing skills, you know, is
I don't know what's next for him. I'm gonna hit him up. You know, let him know to be cool. But I'm confused. Well, I'm not confused about his identity as a fighter. I just think he was confused last night as to what to do. You on mute, Tay?
What you say, brother? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm not confused about who Brandon is as a fighter. I just think that he was a bit confused last night as to who he was supposed to be. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, I don't think he was confused. I just thought, you know, he'd been talking about for 2 years. He'd been talking about this rematch for 2 years, saying the same thing about boxing. Being patient. His number one thing was being patient and throwing sharper punches. Well, you can't be patient with a boxer who's traditionally boxes when you're a fighter. It's not gonna end out right. And I've been saying, well, I've been thinking. I can't say I've been saying that, but I've been thinking that ever since all the videos leading up to this fight. I mean, from the first time he lost, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that shit gonna be even worse next time if you do that.
So what do you think's next for him?
Shit, he better try to find a style. he better try to find. You know, PBC, they love him, man. You know what I'm saying? If you ask me, I think that was a fight that PBC threw Scooter in. So many people don't know that PBC really didn't want to sign Scooter coming up. People didn't know that. You know what I mean? He couldn't punch. You know, he wasn't this, wasn't that. You know, but the coach that I know who put him on, you know, he pretty much was telling me, you know what was going on, and you know they actually offered Cool Boy stuff, Brandon Figueroa, when he was like only 8-0, 9-0. So that lets you know that PBC really wanted Brandon Figueroa to win. But when somebody has your number like a Cool Boy stuff, and you haven't fought nobody to the style that he fights, it's going to be hard for him to try to get a victory over him. So I suggest going to fight someone of that caliber. He's still right there in the mix. Don't get it messed up. He's still right there in the mix. You got Shushu, who all of a sudden said he want to fight Cool Boy stuff, which I think would be a bad matchup for Shushu as well. And I like Shushu. I think that Brandon Figueroa should start knocking off these other guys and putting himself back in position. You still got Espinoza. I think he hold the IBF. You got Ray Vargas, but I think Cool Boy, Scooter and Ray Vargas, because he's actually the champion in recess. So you know he got most. We got Nick Ball still out there. You know, if you want to go to Saudi get a check, fight Nick Ball. You know, I forget. Oh, Angelo Leo. Shit, I wouldn't mind seeing Angelo Leo get beat up a second time.
Let's get little bro some work. Elijah Pierce.
Well, you know, Elijah Pierce, man, he moving up to 126, but I think what's going to happen with that is PBC and OTX willing to do business with each other. I believe OTX and Matchroom got Top Rank. So if OTX and Top Rank got some business going on right now, I will look towards Espinoza. I just don't see OTX and PBC doing business right now. You know what I mean? Especially when they have that champion. I know Elijah is knocking on the door. He's moving up from 22 to 26. But at first, he's going to have to find the opponent for him at 126 to make that defining moment. You know, I'm not going to say that. Of course, he was in the top 5, top 10 over there in the 122 rankings. Yeah. But jumping over, they're going to make you fight somebody. You know what I mean? In that top 5, top 10. So I believe that's what he got to accomplish first.
Yeah, I was talking to him. He's getting antsy, man. The brother needs some work, and you know, business. You know, business is business. Yeah. So, you know, I'm putting my 2 cents in. I just don't want there's only so much I can say on here. Right. You know what I mean? But, you know, I need that brother to get some quality opponents because he deserves it at this point. No, I believe it's so. He actually going to have more opportunity at 126 as well. But like I said before, since PBC, because, you know, not PBC, but OTX just signed someone who's also working with Top Rank. So if they already working with each other, it makes sense for him to go try to snatch the belt off Espinoza. Yeah. Was it Robisa Ramirez? Yeah. So go ahead and, snatch that up real quick. If because Robisa Ramirez turned Elijah Pierce down. So if Robisa Ramirez turns you down, go get the guy that beat him. Makes sense. You do it, man. You can do it. You know, we're trying to look out for little bro, man. Time is now. Yeah, for sure. You know, me personally, he already know I don't want to see them 2 guys fight anyway. So I ain't really got too much to say about him and Scooter fighting. You know what I mean? So yeah. But he was here. What was that? Friday? Yeah. He was here Friday, and he wants that smoke. For sure. It's the business, man. It's the business. But you would know better than me. So let's get to the main event, man. Let's get to the main event. So much to say. First of all, Shout out to both of those guys, the two Davids, for saying F business, F letting fights marinate and all this stuff. No, we're gonna get this work right now. And let me say this. David Benavidez really impressed me. And I'm gonna tell you why. I was concerned when the fight got announced and they did their first photo shoot and David put on his trunks and I looked at his shape. I said, oh my God, what's happening here? I mean, when that brother, but when I think about it, I need you guys to follow me on this. After he fought Bostic, I learned he had an injury in that fight. And sometimes, have y'all ever seen how a bodybuilder looks off season? You can have a 250-pound bodybuilder who spends about 6 months getting in shape for various shows. And when they stop training, they let their body rest. And I swear to God, 40 days of not touching the weight and just eating normally, they're gonna look like a fat boy. They just look like they look fat. And it's the weirdest thing. Now, boxing training is different, but my concern when he did that photo shoot, he has like a pear shape. He gets heavy in the hips and in his stomach. And I was like, oh my God, what is he gonna do, man? Man, hopefully he's in shape. I saw his physique. He has a dad body. He's never gonna be. You saw
that's that old Larry Holmes body.
Right. He got the Larry Holmes body. He's never gonna be a bodybuilder or nothing like that. He can go live with hard body JT Mo for 6 months. He ain't gonna look any better. And you see that he carried that weight a lot different than David Morrell. David Morrell's chiseled, had the six-pack and everything else. And my thought, I guess you could say it was a bit of a concern. He has a high activity. And I'm like, okay, he's up in weight. Maybe his power won't translate, but he's not really a one-punch knockout guy. He's a volume puncher. And I said, you know, can he do this for 12 rounds? And I was from the thought that he'll come out on fire. Both men call for knockouts. And I said, you know, if anybody's going to run out of gas in the championship rounds, I'm going to think it's David. But no. He stayed consistent with his output. Got a little winded, but it was still consistent. The hand speed was better than Morrell's, which is insane. But then again, I could look at Andy Ruiz. He got some of the fastest hands in the heavyweight division. It's like, what the hell is that? And he looked like the Michelin Man, but he's fast as hell. So I mean, David from rounds 1 to 12 won the ring generalship part. He won. It was the effective aggression. Their defense was the same, but the punch output and the ring generalship is what won him the fight. And I'll just keep the plane flying right there. I'm not gonna close it out yet. Stormy, your thoughts?
You know, I talked about it earlier today in my post-fight show last night. Universal Truth made a point about Morel being a guy who has ADD.
Yeah.
You know, that he doesn't focus up for the full 3 minutes of a round. And I was trying to pinpoint, and I gave credit to Universal for making that observation, because that's the difference with not having the pro fight experience that Benavidez has. The pro fight experience that Benavidez has, you know, it's interesting. He had energy and time and attentiveness to wave at the crowd and, you know, do some antics when that was supposed to be the time to focus in on David in front of him.
Right.
And that was the difference, because David in front of him, his attention never wavered. His determination never wavered. He was looking for every opportunity that he could impose himself.
Right.
But he found it difficult because the guy had a physical talent and ability that needed to be addressed. And he adjusted to address that. But it was just one of those things where at the end of the day, the fight was probably more than likely a little bit too soon for Morel. Just a little too soon, because he showed you what he has by what he went through. You know what I mean?
Right,
a lot of other guys would have been stopped.
Yes.
And I think that even without the services of Ronnie Shields, he could have still been stopped. You know, so my assessment is that Benavidez is definitely for real, and he showed you last night, undoubtedly, this is what Canelo is smart enough to avoid.
Yeah, man.
But he just don't want to say what it is. Now, I know that sometimes they say that fighters aren't scared of one another and everything because of what they do for a living.
Rubbish.
But you could still be afraid of someone, regardless. I mean, you could talk and be brave and everything. There are circumstances that we all find a little bit more than what we would like to bite on. You know what I'm saying? So it's that, but see, Canelo saw it before anybody.
Yeah.
And that's why he played his hand like he did. It is no coincidence that he went in and scooped up that belt that got stripped away from Morel, from Benavidez, when he had the opportunity to do so, instead of having to face the man, because he was not going to be able to take that belt off of that man at 168. And I don't care what anybody says, that's a fact. And I think the sanctioning bodies helped him, because he was not going to be able to complete that process. Remember, he didn't complete the process at 154.
Right. People seem to forget that.
He looked around, surveyed the landscape toward Undisputed with those fearsome Charlo brothers down there. And then you had Andre down there. And then, of course, you know, it was not made to order for him. And they were all young lions as well. So he moved on. He didn't even want to face Triple G, but got forced kind of into that situation. And at 168, moving up to fight the likes of Kovalev, who was just coming off a hard fight with Anthony Yard and stuff like that. People don't really pay attention to how these chains link.
That's right.
And come back to the original source. But David Benavidez has been a more than capable young man for a long time. And he's had, where he didn't have the amateur career, he's had a career in the pros, training and sparring against all of this opposition of men who were world class. That's invaluable.
That's right.
Because it's obvious that he wasn't in there just getting beat up. He was learning. And he was, you know, because they call guys that are capable of those kind of things like protege. You know, you're a prodigy when you can go in there and hang with people and everything. What didn't come out until recently, unless you were in boxing circles, was that Benavidez was a chief sparring partner for Triple G.
Sure was.
A lot of people don't know that. And if they do know, they kind of maybe you just recently found out because they talk about it now. But Benavidez was also a sparring partner to who?
Dimitri Bivol. Bigger. You see how big? You see how much bigger he was than Bivol?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's huge. And there's a reason. Listen, guys, let's not look. It's okay. Canelo's going to the Hall of Fame, but listen to me. There's a reason why he does not want that fight. You do not want that smoke on the way out. You don't. You take on the John Ryders of the world, the Bud Crawfords, where you think it's a gimme fight of the world. He tested the waters against Bivol. Bivol, it's not in Bivol, and you pointed this out, Stormy. It's not in Bivol's nature to smash the gas and get you out of there. He's comfortable doing what he does. And if you collapse, you collapse. But that's just it. He doesn't have that killer instinct. He'll outbox your face in and make you quit if you can do that. You understand? But he is Benavidez. Benavidez. I'm talking about. He gonna go get you, man. He's gonna go get you. And this guy's been one of those secrets behind closed doors, and we're now seeing how dangerous it really is. But what we're telling you is Canelo always knew, because when they're in that circle, don't think they don't know who's beating the crap out of sparring partners. Like how we told you that Martin Bacoli was behind the scenes all this time getting busy. And then we're telling you, hey man, we knew, and I see you, young Abel, we knew that Anderson may be in some big trouble. You understand? We knew that. But those people that don't know, they just thought it was gonna be another cakewalk for Anderson, and they got shocked. I wasn't. Stormy wasn't. You understand? There's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people. You think there's somebody in the top 20 right now that some your boy with a belt or whoever, they're saying, yo, this guy right here, by the time he comes up, we need to be either out the division or retired, because this guy's a problem. I'm telling you, it's always like that. Afro-Rican G, salute to you, brother, in that super chat. Much love. He said, Benavidez might be the best Latino fighter right now. What's between him and Bam Rodriguez? It's between him and Bam. But both of those cats, they get busy, bro. They get busy. Young Abel in the building, man. Salute to you, good brother.
Good evening, Jude Titan. Good evening, Stormy B, man. Hope y'all are doing well this evening.
Yes,
I was
sir.
excited about really excited about the fight. You know, I was cheering heavy for David Morrell in this fight here. And I will say that when I was watching the fight, to me, the one thing I was concerned about the fact that is that if David Morrell's stamina could hold up and if he was able to establish the jab in the fight, then he would have a good chance.
Yeah.
The first two rounds, to me, he was very aggressive and he got, Benavidez off balance a bit. And then as Morel was feeling the pressure from Benavidez and started hitting him to the body, then everything started to go downhill. And those body shots, man, Benavidez's body work is very underrated. It really strained out the tank of David Morrell. And I think it was the first time that Morrell didn't really have a plan B or plan C to counter that. Because honestly, though, bro, like if either of them established a jab in the fight, it would have been a landslide. But as I was watching, you know what I mean? And I thought that, Morrell wasn't applying, the kind of pressure that I wish, Benavidez could have against Benavidez. And Benavidez, throughout the fight, he was putting a lot of good pressure and he was basically cornering him to the ropes. And he got Morrell into situations where he didn't know what to do. But when Morrell was putting combinations together, Benavidez was actually backpedaling a little bit. But it's just there were times where Morrell kind of turned that tensity level off and allowed Benavidez to get his rhythm together. And to me, that's where I felt that, Morrell lost the fight. And I will always, cheer for him because he's my hometown fighter. But there's a lot of things that he got to work on if he wants to be, on the upper echelon of 175-pound fighters. And he's got the tools to do it. It's just about putting it together and having the motivation to putting all those things together is what I saw.
No doubt. Now, there's something I want to hone in on, and I'm going to let Stormy take this because this is crazy. You see what our brother Drake Lemonade said? He said, Drew, you're right about Vegas. Very suspicious at that place. With that being said, Stormy, talk to us about that quote-unquote knockdown, brother. Talk to me about that, and then the point deduction, because I was blown by that. I couldn't believe that. That was crazy.
Well, earlier when I was talking with KG about it, the good doctor. Salute to KG. He was saying he didn't, after reviewing it a couple times, he didn't think that it was a legitimate knockdown. I unfortunately haven't had the chance to see it outside the replays that were shown when it was live. So I haven't had a chance to go back and really look into it. I've been a little bit too busy to do that. But upon seeing it live, and then what happened toward the end of the round, and then the penalization against Morel, I felt like that referee, Tom Taylor, acted too abruptly and too fast in the climate of a fight that could be viewed as close. But being in Vegas, what you might think is close, it could be something totally different because you're dealing with these Vegas judges. But I thought that he acted, where's the harsh warning or anything? He just went and said, hey, you don't do that. Called time and was like, took a point. And it was like, it was almost the way it came across to me, and I could be wrong, but it's an opinion. Mm-hmm. He couldn't wait to do something to get it back for Benavidez. And I wish that they would show consistency with those type of actions, because we have seen low blows, sometimes deliberate, and they don't act like that. We've seen punches after the bell, because this is a heated fight between two men who there's an intense rivalry there. Nobody is trying to cheat, meaning like nobody is trying to look for that event. Oh, the bell rang and I'm going to hit this guy. It's just like when Kakachi hit Joe Cordina a couple of years ago after the bell, and it caught Cordina clean. He came out for the next round. He never recovered from that shot because it buckled him. And then Kakachi ended up stopping him short time later. But in this instance, Morel was hurt too. So I believe that Tom Taylor was acting in the interest of Benavidez. And that, to me, seemed very interesting, because he has done little things. He's the present day Jack Reese. He really is. You guys don't know this guy, please go and watch fights that he has officiated. He will jump in early to save the house fighters, knockout streaks. He has done a lot of different little things.
Wow.
I've watched this guy. He's on my list as a guy to pay attention to, and he never disappoints when it comes down to things like that. Whoa. This is a big fight between two big fighters. Stay your ass out of the middle of the fray, and don't impact the fight with deductions and things of that nature. If anything, you could call time and give Benavidez 5 minutes, because that's within the rights that you could do. But to take a point late in the fight that is close, you're trying to impact the fight. You're trying to make a determination to get a point back to even it back up.
That's right.
From a guy who got knocked down, I was told that it was more of a slip, and he was out of position or whatever, but it was called a knockdown. And guess what? After they went to the next round, the officials reviewed it, and they still called it a knockdown.
It's academic.
So by taking the point away, he still balanced it out for Benavidez. I'm not speaking against Benavidez. He's the man fighting in the fight. I'm not speaking for Morel. He's the man fighting in the fight. But an official who doesn't do the proper thing, you have to suspect he has an alternate agenda. When he did what he did, I have to pull him to the side and say, why? Because you could have called time. The bell could have rang, and you could have given him, just like when Usyk was laying on the canvas when Dubois hit him with that body shot, but they
Yep.
called it a low blow. They
Yep.
gave him 5 minutes, and it felt like 20
Sure.
down on the canvas to get himself right to come back out. You could have did that. And let me say this about the rest. Yes, Benavidez was shook from that shot, but the 5-minute rest ain't just for one person.
That's right.
Morel will be resting too. So that's why Tom Taylor took the point instead of giving the time. Because if you give the time, both guys get a chance to rest.
That's right.
If you take the point, you've penalized the other guy. And you've taken away the advantage that he had in the round for 1 point for putting the guy on the canvas. You see how it all works out, and you see how it can come about when you're able to think clearly through the process and recognize the rules of the sport. How many times have you seen an official just jump in and stop a fight instead of giving a guy a standing 8 count?
Yep. A lot.
Because that's in the books. You can do that. You can say, hey, hold on, go over there, get the neutral corner. 1, 2, 3. Oh, the ref is issuing a standing 8 count. A lot of times they don't act to do that. They act rather to jump in because it gives them a chance to give a guy a TKO, which on his record looks as a KO.
Yeah.
And we saw it early in the fight cards when Camaro Moulton did it against the guy he was fighting. The guy that Camaro Moulton was fighting last night was fighting him back pretty good. And Camaro hit him with a good body shot, shook him kind of good, started moving in. The guy was moving away a little bit. Camaro landed a couple more punches. The ref jumps in and stops it. But the guy was fighting Camaro. So I got angry in that very instance. I said, what are you jumping in for? Let Camaro knock him out. Don't stop the fight. Let it come to its completion. It was still early. It wasn't like they were in the 9th and 10th round and the guy took a beating all those rounds. Camaro had got an advantage and was looking to go in. We need to learn, does he know how to finish a guy or not? But with referees jumping in, stopping fights, what does that give you? A TKO. What does it look like on the record books? A KO.
KO. Yep.
Is anything that I'm saying to you all making any sense?
Makes a bunch of sense. I know it's a different time, but I just watched this thing on Instagram with Archie Moore. Forgot that guy he fought, but I think I shared it with you. I think I sent it to you. Archie was done. If that fight, they couldn't have that fight today because they would have stopped it. And I forgot the white guy's name, but Archie was on the floor like 3 times, and then he came back and caught him with a counter and stopped dude. You got to let things go, man. And I know today it's different because you can get hurt. And, you know, that's why the New York State Athletic Commission changed some rules here. And I get it, man. But sometimes.
Yeah, remember when Deontay got shaken up in that fight with King Kong?
Yeah.
And the bell rang for the next round. They let the doc come in and look at him. And people, Paulie Maliaggi was saying, oh, they're cheating and this and that. It's like, no, they were following the rules. But check this out. In the same event last night, Jason Rosario, the referee, stepped in because Rosario was taking a pummeling. And he looked like a shot fighter at 29 years of age. And he was in there against a kid that was 23 that was banging him from pillar to post. I saw fit that they should do that. And then you have to call in the question, what the hell is up with Rosario's cornermen to continue to send him out there to get pummeled like that? And they know he don't have it. And if he didn't have it on fight night, he didn't have it in the gym.
He didn't have it in the gym. Everyone was just thinking about their next car payment.
Exactly. So when a referee does what the referee did in that instance, absolutely, that was supposed to happen. But what happened when Harvey Dock jumped in there and gave Camaro another TKO instead of letting Camaro finish the guy off, finish him off. That the guy wasn't even when the ref stopped it. The guy hold his arms out like, "What you doing? I'm still fighting here." And see, that's the difference also. When a man is cognizant of what you're doing and he can look at you in your face and say, hey, man, no, don't do that. I'm still good to go. You see, we can't have such inconsistencies here because it still goes back to a point of a guy being, really, got it together, and to the other end of the spectrum where a guy needs to be saved.
This is a strange ass. It's the inconsistencies is crazy. Viva tu vida, where you been? Salute, man. Sure Will in the building. My brother.
Yo.
What's good, man?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, Sensei? Mahari,
What's happening, Will? How you doing, brother?
Man, I can't call it, man. I ain't
What's happening, Will?
I ain't talked boxing in so long, man. I figured I'd take a little bit of an opportunity. I watched the card last night, and matter of fact, while y'all was talking, I was watching it again. And one thing I can say is Morel doesn't have a reason to hang his head. He don't. They both David Benavidez's experience is really what beat Morel last night. His experience showed it showed by round 2, it was already showing. He was punching through Morel's guard. Morel was too busy trying to showboat in there instead of getting focused and locking in. And then, like, once you build a lead, once you build a strategy and some offense, then show out. Nah, he was in there showing out. I was screaming at the TV last night. Like,
let me ask you, brother, where was that offense? You know what I'm saying? I didn't see the offense.
No, that's why I was mad, because I was yelling at the TV like, yo, bro, what are you doing?
It's like when certain fighters, when they hit a wall and they can't mount an offense, I think maybe David Benavidez did something.
Yeah.
That put the offense on pause. And all he could do was try and play to the crowd. Look, I'm defensively sound. I'm in the fight. I took his best punches. But the reality was, every time we went back to that corner, Ronnie Shields was screaming at him.
Right.
I'm like, God damn, where's the offense? And that's what lost him the fight, the offense.
Right. If he could have, like the sensei was saying a while ago, if he could have honed in on his punches, lining up his straight shots, moving his head off the line instead of just standing there being a punching block for Benavidez, that fight could have went a different way. And then on top of that ref intervening when Benavidez got dropped in I think it was the 11th round.
11th round,
and taking a point when Benavidez was throwing flurries after the bell, and he didn't say anything to him. Like, I literally sat there and watched it. I watched it just now. And I was like, wait a minute. Benavidez is still throwing punches. And Morel threw one punch and caught him. And the ref takes a point from him, no warning. Like, no, that's no, sir. No, if you're gonna penalize anybody, you penalize both fighters. But
I agree with that.
Again, Morel doesn't. Again, even with all that being said, despite him showing out in there or whatever, like, you gotta think back when David Benavidez fought Boo Boo Andrade. Did Boo Boo Andrade give David Benavidez the fight that Morel gave him? No. And Morel only has 11 fights. 11. And he came in and put up a better fight than because David Benavidez beat the fight out of Boo Boo Andrade. Beat the fight out of him. Walked him down, beat him up, beat him bad. I mean, Boo Boo couldn't even come back with no combinations, no nothing. It's almost like he quit in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Morel, he went out on his shield. I give him that. But I tell you what, that man, Morel, is a force to be reckoned with at 175. You watch like I tell you. He gonna have another chance. He ain't got no reason to hang his head. Just go back to the drawing board, get serious, work on his punch placement, and then also work on his defense a little bit more. Like, his defense was sound in there. Like, a lot of punches David Benavidez was throwing, he was missing. Punching gloves all night. Both of them were.
Well, I got a question. I'm gonna go around the panel, but I got a question. Let me read this super chat by our brother Trick Nolte, who was out there. Salute to Trick Nolte. He said, Drew, Stormy, and panel, I hope y'all are doing well. I'm trying to recover from this Las Vegas trip. I might just take the rest of the month off. Man, you deserve it, brother. I hope you ain't drink too much. But he was in the building, man. Salute to Trick Nolte. I know it was rocking in there. It was a good event. It was a great night of boxing, man. Jose, what up, Jose? I'm gonna go around the panel. But I'm gonna ask everyone this, and I'm gonna start with Peter when I ask this question. Okay. If Benavidez is facing the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev, which I think is going to be Benavidez, then that means, in my opinion, if Benavidez is fighting the winner, then the loser should be, in my opinion, fighting David Morrell. How does David Morrell shape up against Bivol or Benavidez? And I'm gonna start with Peter.
Yo, salute to the panel, man. You know, I think Morel. I think his style matches up well with Benavidez. What his name is. You know, because I feel like I feel he can outbox Benavidez. Now Bivol, that's a. I mean, that's a good fight. That's a good 50-50 type of fight, man. You know, both very skilled, both slick type of fighters, man. You know, as we saw with David last night. So I mean, yeah, but
Tay said he's back. Tay said he's back.
Yeah. Tay, click the link. It's at the top. The link is there.
Sorry about that, Peter. Go ahead, bro.
Oh, you good, OG? But nah, man. I think I think Morel. I think his type of match, like it matches very well with Benavidez, better than B-Ball. You know, I think Bivol will give him I think Bivol will give Morel a tougher challenge.
You know what worries me about the Benavidez matchup? What worries me is Morel and Spots didn't show a good IQ. How many times did Benavidez knock his glove down and hit him with that right hand? He did it like 4 times. I was like, bro, what are you doing? That cannot be Benavidez. 1 or 2 times and he's going to sleep. Now, if he can't think himself out the box for that, I show concern. So maybe he learned from that. I'm not sure. Peter, what else you got on that? Is that all, or you just want to say something else?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think if he fixes that up, personally, I think he easily beat Benavidez. But the thing about Benavidez, he's not like hell, we see him, get knocked down plenty of times before, though. I think Morel has the power to put him down. Yeah, that's it, man.
KBG, I see you, KBG. Okay, well, that'll be interesting.
Hey, Drew.
What's good, brother?
I salute y'all, man. I just wanted to say one thing. I told you that hand fighting in that inside game was gonna win him that fight.
Yeah. You said that. I
said that. I was just wrong on a KO. That man, Morel, tough, man.
Yeah, Morel's tough. Real quick before you bounce.
Yeah.
If Morel ends up in the ring with Benavidez or Bivol, who do you see him winning against? What's the easier fight for him to move forward? What's the easier fight?
I think the easier fight would be him against Benavidez because his footwork, and he got power too. Like it was showing. I'm like, yeah, this dude can KO anybody else. Would have got like stopped, man. How he was clipping Benavidez. Benavidez just got a chin.
Yeah. I think they're both nightmare matchups. Me personally, but I'll save that for last.
Man, I said this. I said both of them could beat them Russians.
Probably. I think Benavidez is the oldest one in this division, right? He's like 40, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You never know when his time's up. It could be. I'm not sure.
Man, but that guard manipulation, man, and his footwork was on display that night too, last night. Like, Benavidez can move better than what people give him credit for.
Yeah, and that hand speed, man, the fact that he maintained a reasonable amount of hand speed for 12 rounds, that was impressive for me. That was very impressive,
man.
And he's in
but
a lot
salute
y'all.
Man, salute y'all, man. I gotta hurry up and get up out of here, man. I just wanted to say that, man. That it was a great fight. It was a great night for boxing.
It was.
Like, great night.
Boxing won. It damn sure did, man. I appreciate you, good brother.
So, for sure, salute, man, to the mighty LDBC and the lieutenant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next time. Trill Will. Same question. Same question. How does he match up against Bivol and Benavidez?
Bivol would be a harder fight because Bivol is a masterclass fighter. A more reasonable matchup for him would be Beterbiev. That because they both have similar styles, they both brawler punchers. But I think Morel has a slight advantage because of his foot movement and his defense. And that was on display when Bivol and Beterbiev fought. And you seen obvious holes in his offense and defense. Like you seen holes all over the place, and I don't even know how Bivol lost that fight. That's being honest with you. But watching Morel last night, both of them, like, you know, it's a crapshoot, to be honest with you. You never know how it could go. Who's to say Morel fights Bivol and sets Bivol up on something and catches him with some slickness and knocks him out? Anything can happen in boxing. You know what I mean? So that's one of those craps. Styles make fights for a reason. So that'd be one of the ones I would want to watch, though, for real. But I would rather see Morel versus Beterbiev. I would rather see that fight. That would be one for the record boost. That would be a barn burner right there.
Man, that's gonna be crazy, and it's going there, bro. Young Abel, who matches up better for Morel? Beterbiev or Bivol?
Boy, that's a tough question. Honestly, man, considering the fact of how powerful Beterbiev is, listen, I love Morel, but that matchup would be a nightmare because one shot from Beterbiev and it's possibly nights. Literally, I've seen, Drew, you know how underrated, dude, Beterbiev's power is scary. It's like literally like, you literally are facing against a guy who with natural pure strength. That's what I look at, Beterbiev. And he's very crafty too. So I think I do know that Morel's skill set would give him a chance, but he gets lackadaisical at times, and I think that would give Beterbiev the opportunity to basically pretty much knock him out, literally. I think he would have a better chance against, Bivol, but even then, Bivol's, jab and footwork would create a lot of problems for David Morel. I think that would be stylistically a better looking matchup between Morel versus Bivol. Beterbiev versus Morel. No, I don't. That'd be a nightmare matchup. I would love to see it though, and I would be rooting for Morel to beat either guy. But Bivol would be the better matchup in my view than say Beterbiev, in my opinion.
Wow. I'm gonna leave Stormy for last on this. I'm real interested in how he answers this. I'm gonna go to Tay. Tay. Well, real quick. Morel submitted his drug test when Benavidez didn't, and he was the one complaining. Is there a drug test discrepancy here, man? Please don't tell me that. Oh God. Y'all keep me posted on that. Oh my gosh, I don't want to do. Y'all know I don't like dealing with that. That's crazy. Damn. I hope not. I hope it's nothing. I hope everyone's clean. And boxing won last night. Tay, so now, in this scenario, you are David Morrell's manager. And you're lining up to face the loser between Beterbiev and Bivol. Who would you rather Morel face? And you're in the driver's seat.
If I'm his manager,
yeah,
I don't face either one. I go and face Vosnik. I go fight Vosnik first. Reason being, me personally, I've always said this, and you can go check the fax machine. I've always said this. I always felt that this fight was 3 fights to a year too early for him, and it showed.
Wow.
It showed. I mean, people, it was a good fight. I mean, you got a young, hungry guy. His dignity, his pride, everything is on the line, right? But his defense, if his defense was lackluster. I always said, what happens if David Morrell can't get those get Benavidez out of there like he get those other guys out of there early, first, second, third, fourth round. The fights that he's always struggled in was the fights that went the distance. I think he got one of them out of there, but dog, when he struggles and he reverts back to boxing, and everybody say, "Oh, he got the Cuban school. He's the Cuban school." Well, he boxed in spurts last night, but the onslaught still remained. It still remained, and of course, I've always said his opponents always start coming on. There was times when I thought that David Benavidez was going to stop him. Those body shots fucking hurt him. Even one time he got hit, I ain't gonna say I heard him, but I can literally read his lips like, oof, read it. You know what I mean? And I go fight Bosnick, man. You know, he already got an impeccable resume for the guys that he's fighting. But let's go fight Bosnick, work on some of the defensive flaws that we do have. He got hit. That's the most that anybody seen him get hit, but he got hit often, early, and a lot. You know, so I go fight Bosnick. And then, of course, I take, you know, I don't think that this was a bad loss, but hopes that everybody had, I never saw them to begin with. So I don't fight either one of them, you know. I think Beterbiev is definitely even though he might be faster than Beterbiev, but what happened when Beterbiev hit him? And I believe that Beterbiev hit harder than the Mexican Monster, you know.
Yeah.
And Bivol, you know, he's a boxer, so some of the stuff that you know, people rely on, the Cuban school boxing, that shit not gonna hold up against Bivol. The in and out boxing that he has is not going. Listen, some of the punches that he threw at David Benavidez was simply because he wasn't really stepping into a lot of those punches, and of course that was the difference between the inexperience and the experience. So I think we go fight Bosnick, someone lesser than those opponents, but right on the bridge, on the brinks.
All right. So now, let me add to that. So now you're on the phone with Turkey, and he's giving you an insane amount of money, and he says, "All right, look, just make a decision, one or the other. Who would you rather? If you had to pick one, which way would you go? Who would you hope to put him in the ring with? If you had to pick one, just humor me with that."
I'm gonna take my chances with Bivol.
Yeah. Not that Bivol can't pop, but Benavidez is different, bro. That guy
different, man. And like I said before, you know, his chin just as dynamite as David Benavidez, but it may even be better. Yeah, he's 40 years old, but the last thing to go is your strength. Your power. And then, like I said before, that man, he hit so fucking hard. It might come a little slower, but what if he just connects? Just like the hook that David Morrell caught Benavidez with, you know, the short right hook. You know what I mean?
Oh, that was beautiful too.
Yeah, it was beautiful. You know what I mean? But at the same time, now what if he get hit with one of those? You know what I mean? So
yeah, there's always a chance, man.
Beterbiev is one of those guys. He's definitely going to, what's his name? Morel would definitely have to use a lot of boxing because Beterbiev is not going to go nowhere. And it's going to almost end up looking like a David Benavidez versus Morel Part 2 in there, except for you won't get as many as combinations, but you're definitely going to get beat on.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And I can't wait till that fight gets a little bit closer because I can't wait to talk about that. I think that's going to end badly. That's going to end badly for Bivol, but we'll talk about it. Stormy, same question, brother.
I like a lot of what Tay just said. If there was a way to not have him face one of those two guys, Bosnick is definitely the way to go, because that would be an opportunity for him to get some round experience in,
Right.
because I think Voskik would definitely give him rounds, and more so, I think what Morel needs is rounds, and he needs styles to complete the process of learning the pro game. He has, in the guys that he's fought up through these 11, now 12th fight, he hasn't faced enough of the professional styles that he can adjust and become a better pro. Stopping guys all the time is not, again, I say I'm not impressed with that, because I'd rather a guy be able to handle and solve problems in front of him than to be just getting rid of guys. It's definitely proven that he can knock guys out. That's a given. But Drew, you even mentioned a moment ago earlier about how that old trick of pulling your glove down and hitting you.
Yeah.
He hadn't learned that. That's why Benavidez was able to do it to him. And see, those are the type of things that he needs to learn.
Yeah.
You get some veterans in there, they could pull some tricks on you, and man, I never experienced that before. And it's like they can make you look really foolish. And under the lights, it could also take your confidence and your focus away, because you're thinking. I remember when Lou Del Valle dropped Roy Jones. 2 rounds later, he was still talking to Alton Murchison in the corner. I can't believe that sucker knocked me down.
Yeah.
And this is Roy, who was like pound for pound, the man beating up everybody and everything. But he was still concerned that the guy dropped him. And it looked like a flash knockdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see how the psychological effect it had on him? He was still worried about that in the round, in the fight. So again, just because a guy got a great poker face doesn't mean he's not going through, you know? So if he were going to fight one of those 2 champions, Bivol is the one. And the reason being is this, and I know some other guys have made their point on it, but this is the thing. The Cuban and European amateur styles will get a chance to face each other professionally. And in that circumstance, they're going to show you what they've learned as professionals, because they won't be able to fight like they fought in the amateurs, but they'll have to be able to take more of what has been acquired. And, you know, now in the case of Bivol, we know that he's fought more fights and he's fought more guys with more professional styles than Morel. But that would be the opportunity for him to face a guy with a name and a reputation and former champion that it would definitely add to the resume of accomplishments. Now, could he win it? That would be a different thing, but it would not, the threat is not to be stopped by Bivol. The threat is always imminent to be stopped by Benavidez. Always. Because we know that he has this ADD, and he knows that his attention can wander, and sometimes when he's goofing off or whatever, boom, that's all Benavidez would need to take advantage of that. Plus, something that Benavidez is excellent at that nobody gives him credit for. The man who is a shark, he knows how to set traps. He set Joe Smith Jr. up, and Joe Smith Jr. never saw it coming. He set him up.
That was crazy.
And I'm telling you guys, everybody that's on here now, because Drew already knows this, when he fought Bivol the first time, I think that they were fighting under a handicap.
Yeah.
I think the president has said something to them and said, hey, you know, you guys got to go out there and make us look good. The biggest villains in the world. You know,
yeah.
and we need you to shine. This time, I think the ropes are, you know, pulled off. I think the restraints are pulled off. And also in that first fight, regardless of how they said how good he was going in, that torn meniscus surgery that he had to have, and he still ended up taking the fight not too long after that. Hey, listen, he'll have full mobility this time. Full. He might have been dealing with 75%, but something tells me you're going to see Mr. Destruct and Destroy in the rematch. So you definitely don't want Morel going in there against someone like that. You don't want him going in there with that type of action.
I agree. And the thing is, I believe that I'm gonna go to you, blue collar guy, in a second. I believe that we know what we got with David Benavidez. He's that monster. He's as advertised, and the only thing left for him to do is to face the winner of Beterbiev and Bivol. We kind of know what we got with Morel, but we know he has more potential. If he could just buckle down and focus for 12 rounds or whatever rounds he needs to focus, depending on the opponent, then the rematch, we can have a different outcome. You understand? So, yeah, Morel's not done. He just needs just a little bit more experience, a little bit more, just a little bit more. Blue collar guy in the building. Salute to you, brother.
Oh, what's good? What's good, Drew? How you doing, man?
Doing good, brother. It's on you, brother. What you got?
Oh man, I would say salute to everybody, man. Stormy, man, you the sensei out here. Salute to you, brother.
Salute.
I really enjoyed the fight. It's been the first time in quite a long time since we've had a fight like this, and not only entertainment wise, but technically, it's been a long time since I've seen something like this. For me, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, and I enjoyed it. Do I think they need to run it back in a few years? You know, give it time. But I do think that I would enjoy another one. What's next for Benavidez? Maybe Bivol, because I think that Bud is about to cook this man. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Bud is about to smoke this Canelo 3.5 in a few. But I think that Benavidez, man, that was impressive against a man like that. I salute to that guy. I like that a lot. And excuse me for being so frank. I'm trying to have eyes on my son, so.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
But I enjoyed it, man. You know, me and my sons, we sat back and we put the fight on mute and we watched it, and it was very, very enjoyable. It was action-packed. The undercard was good. Some of the fights on the undercard were really, really nice fights to watch. And I think that I got my money's worth. You know?
Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it. All right, salute, Tay. I know Tay's on the move right now, man. Salute to you, Tay.
Yeah, so that's all I have, Drew. I'm not gonna go into very big detail because I'm really thrilled about the fact that we actually got some boxing instead of getting just a dog and pony show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boxing won last night, man. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Listen, it was worth the $80. Not even gonna hold y'all. It was worth it, man. I was satisfied with everything. Yeah, Mike, as we talked about the Pitbull fight when we opened the show, and everything was evened out. Even the main event, man. As far as what's next for both men, obviously Benavidez. I want him to get the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev. I feel it's going to be Beterbiev. Y'all are right about Morel. If Turkey slides in and says, "Hey, man," for example, Bivol lost, so Morel, you up. I think that y'all are right. Go the Vasquez route, get some rounds in. Sit down with Rich Steele. And look at some tape. Listen, family. There's a few things that are old school, man. Watching tape is I don't know what kids don't do it today, but watching tape is a must, man. Skip the focus pads, skip the pad work, sit down and watch tape. Watch your mistakes and become obsessed. I'm gonna say it again. Watch your mistakes and become obsessed with fixing them. The only way David Morrell is gonna get better is if he looks at the whole fight and say, look, see that right there? You see I could have did this? You see that body shot? How many times I'm gonna let him slap that glove down and punch me in my jaw? That cannot be Benavidez. Benavidez does that one good time, he going to sleep, brother. He cannot do that. He can't let Benavidez do that to him again. Benavidez outworked him, and Morel is the one that had the better physique. The better physique. I thought he'd be the one out hustling him down the stretch. I was wrong, bro. That fight was there for him to win, and he goofed up, but he didn't goof up too bad. The thing is, we see the tools there. They have to be fine-tuned. They have to be fine-tuned. So Morel is far from done. He just needs some fine-tuning. That's all. That's all. He just needs some fine-tuning. That's it, man. That's it. I see you, Xavier. Salute. And like I said, the best part of their post-fight was that nobody mentioned Canelo. I love that. Both of and that's why this whole fight, this whole event was so important. Everyone said, F that. I'm moving on. The guy don't want to fight. We're going to get in the ring. We're going to get it popping. And that's why I appreciate Riyadh season. I appreciate this event last night. You know, and you guys need to know, if you don't know already, boxing is not dead. There's other things going on. There's other things going on. I get tired of doing a live stream over someone failing a drug test, over a fighter ducking their contemporaries. I'm exhausted, and I'm doing shit different this year, y'all. You're still gonna see some monkey videos. I'm still working on my new one, but I'm gonna try not to spend so much time on people that's not doing shit. Boxing is alive and well. Are y'all subscribed to Stormy? He talks about it all. Or do we want to be juvenile and talk about Clarissa with her cake out, which was nice to look at, by the way. But, that's, it's whatever. I don't know why that little boy was on stage or whatever, man. All right, I ain't gonna go there, man. But good luck to her, because Shorty could knock her out, y'all. But more on that later. But, man, boxing is alive, man. The sport is alive. It's going to be a busy year. We got a lot of talent out there. And this is great. Oh, Xavier, you missed it? It's on. Go to Fight Hub. Fight Hype. She did she was on stage, and then she turned around and showed her cake. And it was nice. But this is boxing, and she's becoming a little bit of a rock star. She need to be careful, because her next opponent ain't goofing around with her either. She need to be careful. She needs it. Remember, I said that. She needs to be careful. But I ain't gonna belabor the point, man. Closing words, Young Abel, man. Salute to you, man. Closing words. I gotta bust a move.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This entire weekend has been amazing. We had great boxing, and from my side of the street, the NBA's been popping, bro. We've had crazy trades left and right.
I heard,
bro. Like, I don't want to take up too much time, but I'm gonna create my video about that. The entire NBA landscape has changed, but as far as the fight is concerned, I'm proud that both fighters were able to get in there and do their thing, and they're gonna get. And I do think they will meet again, and I think that there'll be a better fight this time out of David Morrell, as long as he gets his experience and continues to improve and keep on building. So, but I want to thank you guys for, letting me come on in and speak my piece, and see y'all in the morning.
Excellent. Oh, I'm no live tomorrow morning, man. I got to go to the plantation early. No live tomorrow morning. I'll be back Tuesday. But Monday night, I'll be on here with the Sensei and Pep Talk tomorrow night. Sure will. Let them know how they can find you, good brother.
Y'all can find me right here on YouTube. Trill Will LDBC or nothing. Shout out to you, Drew Sensei, the mighty LDBC. If you ain't subscribed to my channel, subscribe and all that good stuff. And make sure y'all subscribe to my brother's Patreon, man. Hey, our brothers out here putting in that work, man. And YouTube just keep being YouTube.
Right.
So yeah, go on over to Patreon and subscribe to my brother Drew's page, the Stormy's page, the 78 and BLTB. Anybody that has a Patreon, go over there and subscribe to them and show them some love, man. They put in too much work for people to just be ignoring it, man.
Yeah, they're not ignoring, being suppressed, but I'm doing a video and I'm gonna send it to you directly, bro. You're gonna laugh. Some funny stuff.
Cool.
Yes, no doubt. The blue collar guy, man. Pleasure to meet you, brother. Let them know where they can find you, brother.
You can actually find me at the Blue Collar Guy on YouTube.
Put your link in the description when you get a minute.
I'll do that if my son don't attack me first. Yeah, so that's basically it. No advertisement. I just talk about blue collar things, how to succeed in the blue collar field, retirement, promotions.
Excellent.
How to operate on USA jobs, how to get into government, things like that. So
we need that, brother. We need that, especially in this day and age, man. You see what's going on?
Yes, sir. But other than that, I'm glad that my favorite sport isn't dying, and I'm glad that we're getting to see the best finally fight the best, and it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, definitely, man. Salute to you, man. Please drop your link. Brothers are asking for it in the chat, man.
Yes,
and
sir.
The sport is far from dying.
Right.
There are people out here that will give you that impression, content creators and everything, but the sport is far from dying. In fact, the sport is thriving better than it has in many a moon. I'm talking about the last 15, 20 years. The sport is on an upward trajectory. And those who are trying to hold fast to the bad elements of the past of sport, boxing, they're causing a lot of ruckus because they don't want the change to happen. But change is inevitable. And something had to break. And what's breaking is the will of these fighters who don't want to get in there and show their wares for what it's worth, but who want to constantly run game on the public. When is the last time you heard the phrase that boxing is a business? Y'all don't know. When's the last time you heard that? You ain't heard it. Wow. You know why? Because it's being changed by force.
Yeah.
And being taken out of the hands of those who thrived in the sport by saying stuff like that. Because when you go to the store and you decide to put something in your grocery basket, you know what you put in your basket, what you want to take home and put in your fridge and your cabinet, right? So when they tell you that you don't know what you want to see when you turn on boxing, who's the bigger fool? Them for saying it or you for believing?
There you go. And with that being said, salute to everybody in the Venmo, the Zelle, the Cash App, the Super Chat. I'm not going live tomorrow morning. I got to go to work at the ass crack of dawn. You know what I mean? It's life. But I'll be back in the evening, me and Sensei. We're going to be doing Nerds on Culture. And I got Pep Talk tomorrow night, man. Don't miss it. There's a lot of movement going on in this world. And I'm going to be talking about it. So y'all make sure you also follow me on the Painful Excellence podcast. That's my other channel. And follow my Patreon. Scrolling at the bottom, www.patreon.com/Drew Titan LLC, man. Salute to you, Blue Collar Guy. Go drop your link so people can subscribe to you, brother. Appreciate you.
Sir.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you tomorrow, man. Salute to y'all, man. Bronx on deck.
Move!